All right, what's up, everyone? This is a new episode of Sports Harder coming at you live on this Wednesday evening. As always, I am your host, Maddie Lukewarm Ice, and as always, my co-host for the evening is Chris the Gorilla Binder.
What up?
He's got an extra tight shirt on, so it looks like he's got more muscles. He's
asshole.
He's stronger than what he actually is. So
My arms are just that big. Shut your mouth.
And we have a special guest.
That's how they look, big boy. Just like that.
Yeah. Oh God.
We have a special guest on with us tonight. This is the first time that I've met Larry. Larry, welcome to the Sports Harder podcast.
Red Machine. That's what we'll call him.
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like 6'4". He's huge.
Mahusive. So yeah, you can stay on as long as you want. You don't have to discuss everything with us if you don't want to. It's all up to you. Whatever preferences you have, you're more than welcome to stay as long as you want on here.
Yeah, as long as you guys will have me, I'll probably stay on for the whole thing. So just let me know if y'all want me to leave.
Get out, Broncos
It's
fan.
a little crowded in here. If you could step away.
Yeah, Donkeys fan.
You want me to slide up over here?
Just over to the side a little bit. So all of my AEW fans, I gotta show my shirt off. I got my all elite Bay shirt on for Adam Cole. So, representing with that tonight. My lovely wife got it for me for our anniversary. So just wanted to shout out to her for that.
Happy anniversary.
Oh, thank you. So
yeah, it's a miracle she's put up with you this long.
Isn't it that they've all put up with us this long? Let's be honest here.
Yeah, true.
A few years is a short period of time. So
I mean, my wife and I are coming up on 7 years. I don't know how the hell.
Come on, man.
Well, I told my wife at 10 years she gets a full carat diamond, so kind of nervous about that one. Like she's putting up with me for this long.
Dude, I got some carrots upstairs. I'll catch you one. It's fine. I got big ones. I got the big ones.
I was wondering why she stuck around so long. She's just trying to wait it out for that diamond.
Yeah, I've been going on, I think, 9 years. 9 years and
9 years, nice.
I guess.
You guess it's nice.
I mean, I think it's awesome. I don't know how she feels. I mean, shit, she's still here, so I guess it's a win for me.
Yeah.
There you go. Awesome. Well, let's start off the evening with talking about the college football playoffs and the rankings. Someone at work the other day told me that I was going to be wrong. I'm not going to mention any names, Chris, about what the rankings were going to be after the championship games that happened. So Alabama has Georgia's number yet again in the SEC championship game. Georgia cannot seem to figure out how to ever beat Alabama, whether it's in the national championship game when they're up by like 40 points and then Alabama subs in what's his bucket to go in. Why am I blanking on his name now? They subbed him in at the half and then Alabama came back and beat him in the national championship game. So right now the rankings are number 1, Alabama, number 2, Michigan, number 3, Georgia, still in even after losing to Alabama, and then number 4, Cincinnati. And then on
BS. Cincinnati is the only undefeated team out of all of them. Like only undefeated team.
It's their conference.
I get that it's their conference, but I'm tired of the SEC, man. So tired of it.
You got to go back.
Cincinnati beats the crap out of Alabama.
All of us. I don't really know any Bama fan, anybody's going for Bama except for maybe Bama themselves. But their uncle, their dad, their cousin, they're all the same person. What's wild is when you go down to college football, the rankings have changed because of that bowl game. I think it was the Rose Bowl, Boise State and Alabama, in 2005 or something. And Boise had no reason to be there at all. And they just put a hurting on Bama. And the next year they started changing stuff. And I just thought it's been ridiculous because, like you said, the SEC is always in there. No matter how many games they can lose, they're always top 5 teams. And that's just ridiculous because you got other teams. Cincinnati has the best record in college football this year. One of the best complete teams all the way around. and to have them ranked 4th and not even in the top 1 or 2 is it's a slap in the face. It shows that no matter how well you play, you're just not going to beat Bama or Georgia or, LSU type teams. It's kind of upsetting.
I think if you put Utah against any of those teams right now, Utah would beat them.
Oof.
Like right now. That's how good Utah has been playing. Like Norton.
I don't think they could beat Michigan.
I think they could right now. Earlier in the season, Michigan would have stomped all 4 of those teams would have stomped the crap out of Utah because they didn't know who the hell they were. And now, like, dude, they beat the crap out of Oregon twice in a row.
I don't necessarily disagree. Utah early on had the quarterback struggles, and then I don't remember his name, but he left, and I thought Utah season was probably going to be a wash this year. I agree with Matt though. I don't think they could beat Michigan. I really don't. With the way Michigan's playing, even you took the top 4 teams in the standings. I think Utah could put up points. I don't think they win. I think it'd be a close game, maybe a field goal, point or two. But I just don't think Utah is that complete of a team with Michigan, for instance. I mean, Michigan is just playing well on all sides of the ball, and Harbaugh is just coaching out of his mind right now. I think this is the best season Harbaugh's had in forever.
Well, yeah, because he finally beat Ohio State, which was
right.
kind of the reason why they brought him in. They solely said, "We're bringing you in to beat Ohio State. That is your job," and he finally did it after like 6 years. So, but I'll hand it to Michigan. Hands to you. You gave Harbaugh enough time to make it happen. It's harder in college football because you have to go out and you have to recruit and you have to convince people to come to your school. Why would you want to go to Michigan when you can go to Alabama and 90% of their people are going to get drafted, like in the NFL? Like it's a no-brainer. You're like, okay, more likely to get drafted and win a national championship. Yeah, I'm going to go to Alabama. Like, I'm not going to.
Well, and there's no selling point to go to Michigan. Hey, you want to come play in the snow?
Yeah.
I mean, your only sell point is Harbaugh. I mean, they have a good program. Michigan is a great college. They have really good programs. But like you said, I mean, if you look at the NFL right now, people that are I mean, for instance, just any given Sunday, you got 7 to 10 players that played at Bama in the last 5 years. Who do you know from Michigan?
Tom Brady.
The last big name. The last 2 big names to come out of Michigan were Tom Brady and Charles Woodson.
Yes.
Yeah.
Which was what, in 2000?
Yeah.
So, and that's the kind of the sad thing. But I think Michigan has a good chance of pulling an upset this year as well. I think they're a great team.
They get Georgia first, so that's going to be tough.
Yeah, the Bulldogs showed who they were, though. They showed that they didn't have the run defense. From what I didn't watch the whole game, but it seemed when I watched, they were getting ran on a lot, and then they just fell apart defensively altogether because it just you gas a team running the ball. I mean, you see it every week in college and in the pros. If you can run the ball, you can't be stopped, and that's kind of how I think Georgia kind of lost it with how they were playing. Is they beat themselves more than they lost to Alabama.
Well, that's how Michigan beat Ohio State. I mean, their running back scored 5 rushing touchdowns. He tied the school record for the most touchdowns since like 1920 or some crazy number. So, I mean, so if Michigan continues to run the ball down people's throats, then they have a great chance to go all the way this year if they want to. So, we always make our predictions here. So I want to go ahead and have each of us make our predictions for the top 4. So first game, Alabama, Cincinnati. Chris, who do you got?
I'm rooting for Cincinnati.
You're rooting, but who do you think's going to win?
Bama.
Oh,
I think Bama's going to win it.
All righty, Larry.
Cincinnati's going to take it. Cincinnati by 10.
By 10. Oh, all right. So a little close. It's kind of close. 10 isn't that much. So that's still a pretty close game. Man, this is a hard one for me because I'm also rooting for Cincinnati.
I think the whole country is.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I think Alabama will take it just because of how they showed against Georgia, because I thought for sure Georgia was going to stomp them. So, Saban after the game. They were interviewing him, and he was quoted saying to the media, the media rat poison that has been fed to us saying that we were going to lose to Georgia was very yummy. And that's what he said, and like quote, and I was just like, damn, like Saban's getting savage with the media. Like, so he used all of that to like boost his team to be like, hey, we're underdogs. And no one wants us to win. Like, it's us against the world type of thing. So I think Nick Saban's good at controlling the mindset of his players, kind of like Belichick, of just like, do your job, like, and we'll win type of thing. So I think that's why he's so similar to Bill Belichick. So I think Bama will take it. All right. So Michigan, Georgia. Let's start with Larry this time.
I got Michigan.
Michigan. All right. Chris.
Michigan.
Hey, everyone's going Michigan. Yeah, I'm going Michigan as well. I think they're gonna dominate the run game, and I mean, they have the best defensive player on their side as well. He's being nominated, or whatever you want to call it, for the Heisman, which funnily enough, I'm pretty sure the last person to win the Heisman defensively was Charles Woodson.
Yep.
so if he wins it again, then it'll be another Michigan defensive player. So
Which would be awesome to have somebody on defense win it. I mean, it's been running backs or wide receivers for forever.
And quarterbacks, yeah, always a quarterback driven award, as they say.
I do want to throw this out there because a rumor actually hit rumor mills today regarding Jim Harbaugh. He's been contacted by the Raiders to be the next coach for the Raiders. Question is, if he wins the national championship, does he jump?
Does he jump ship basically after winning the title?
Yeah, I mean, he's proven that he can coach in the NFL with the 49ers. He took them to a Super Bowl. So does he jump ship and be the Raiders coach? Because he was in talks with the Raiders before he took the Michigan job.
If we're, just to kind of digress on that, I guess, I think that he would, a lot of it depends on how the Raiders finish this season.
Oh, they're going to finish like crap, dude.
And well, that's their MO. Let's be honest. I mean, the last few years since Jack Del Rio decided to get Derek Carr hurt, playing up by 40 against the Colts, the Raiders' MO since then, the last 5 years, has been a choke the last half of the season. Let's say by some miracle, because the last 5 games, 3 of them are division games. You play the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Raiders, or the Chiefs, the Chargers, and the Broncos in a 4-week span. But Broncos is die hard, but let's be honest, my team sucks ass. If you guys finish well, I think your interim coach stays if they offer him the job. But Harbaugh, I think a lot of it would come down to the money. And I mean, you just won a national championship. Do you really want to just leave that behind, or do you want to run it back? I think a lot of it is going to come down to the money and how much control he's actually going to have of the Raiders and his draft process. Because that's one thing that San Fran did very well with Harbaugh when they brought him in. It said, look, this is your team. We want you to have your players. We want you to pick the guys. And then I think that's the reason why he left, is because they came over and they said, we're going to take back control. And Michigan offered him a really nice salary. And he said, cool, good luck. See you later.
So just to counteract that money concept, he got, I think it was 8 years, 110 million through Michigan, but he was offered 5 years, 180 million for the Raiders. He was offered more money to coach the Raiders than John Gruden was offered.
Yeah. Bring Gruden
But he chose Michigan instead of the Raiders.
College is a little bit easier to coach, I think, than the NFL. So I think that was kind of a no-brainer at the time. But now I think with all the stuff that happened with the Raiders, I think Harbaugh could come in. I would like to see that. I'd like to see both Harbaugh's best, especially coaching in the AFC. That would just, I mean, you're bound to play each other, once a year. Can you beat the Ravens? I don't know. But I don't know. I think he might stay if they win the title. If they win the championship, I think he stays in Michigan. If they lose, he comes. I think that's what it all comes down to, is the one game.
I actually see it the other way. I do agree about the money, but if he wins the title, I feel like that gives him a reason to bounce, because like I said, they gave him like 6 years to get all this together. So a lot of the players that he brought in, they're graduating, they're moving on. So he's not obligated to be like, oh, okay, I'm going to stay with like these other guys and like bring them up. Like, and all the promises that he made to the players, he kept, because those are the ones that started, in the beginning for the full 4 years. So I think he has more incentive to be able to leave if he wins a title, because then he can be like, see, I proved you all wrong. I got it. Like,
let's go win a Super Bowl.
Yeah. Now let's go do the next thing, which is doing a Super Bowl, because he didn't do that. So,
yeah,
a lot of it is trying to prove stuff. A lot of people just want to prove that they can do it all, type of thing. And I don't think there's, I was going to say there hasn't been a coach that's done that, but Jimmy Johnson did that. He did it with Miami, and then he came to Dallas and won Super Bowls there too. So
didn't Pete Carroll do it too?
Yeah, with the Seahawks. Yeah, he won with USC, and then he won one with the Seahawks. Yeah. So, I mean, there's not a very big list of coaches that are able to do it.
It's true.
When Pete Carroll did it, it wasn't called the national championship, though.
Fair.
It was
they didn't have the college football playoffs.
Yeah.
All right, well, fair enough. Well, then we'll see with the national championship game. Most of us, me and Chris, think it'll be Michigan versus Alabama.
I think Michigan's going to take it all. I really do. Like, I'm rooting for them to take it.
I really hope Cincinnati does it. They deserve it.
So you think Cincinnati could beat Michigan as well?
I do. But a lot of it, I mean, obviously it depends on this one game on how they play, but it is as much as the way that Michigan's been playing throughout the year, Cincinnati, they deserve it. I mean, you came from, you've never been really ranked. You've been in the top 20, 25, maybe once or twice in the last 10, 15 years. You're not really an up there team, and you're more of a forgotten college football team than not. So for them to come in and to be ranked where they are, to play the way they are, they deserve the win. And I think that they know that they're the underdog, and they're going to show it. They're going to show that we're the underdog, but we deserve to be here. I think.
Do you think this is more of like a repeat of what Utah did in the Fiesta Bowl to Alabama? Like, everybody was like, oh, Alabama's going to smoke them. It's not even going to be a game. And then Utah comes out and just smashes the ever living shit out of Alabama.
But that's the thing, is that happens so often to Alabama. Boise State did it. Utah did it. Why can't Cincinnati do it? You got all these teams that everybody says Bama's going to blow them out of the water. None of these teams deserve to be here on this stage with Bama. And what happens? Bama lets that go to their head. That's one thing that Bama has. Yes, they have the players that go play pro ball, all that stuff, but they have such a huge ego at that school because, I mean, one, they win titles like it's nothing. Like it's like an Oprah Winfrey show. She just handed them out to them. But when you got teams like Cincinnati or even Michigan that haven't been, ranked high or been to a championship game, they actually have something to play for. It's more meaningful at that point. And that's where I think Bama always chokes, is because they underlook these teams. If we're gonna walk all over you, and then they end up getting beat, and then they don't know what to do.
True. I think that was a big thing that happened when they played Clemson the first time, when it was against Deshaun Watson. I think everyone thought like, oh, Clemson, ACC, they don't deserve to be here. And, they played Bama in the national championship game and they won. And no one thought they were going to win because they were from the ACC,
That wasn't even a close game, was it?
No.
Like, Clemson, destroyed them.
Yes.
Yeah, that was the Deshaun Watson era, and then right after that it was Trevor Lawrence era. So I mean, Clemson had a nice little run there with two Heisman caliber quarterbacks and some pretty talented wide receivers as well that had gone there, that had made a difference in the NFL once they got there. So real quick, just to wrap up before we move on to NFL, because we don't want to take up too much time because Chris has an early flight, so we don't want to keep him up too late. Just want to wrap up the Heisman and what you guys think about the people that were chosen, who you think will take it. So obviously, we mentioned the defensive player for Michigan, and then the quarterback for Alabama, the quarterback for Ohio State, and then the quarterback for Pitt, which I thought was pretty funny. I didn't even think he was being considered like I didn't even hear anything about him, and then all of a sudden they say he's like one of the nominees, and I was just like, oh, okay. And I think he blew up because of the play that we've talked about on here, which I thought was hilarious when I saw it on the Sports Center top 10. The Pitt quarterback was rushing the ball. He was running with it, and he faked like he was going to slide, and the defensive player froze. Like he just stood there. And then he when he leaned back like this, he just readjusted himself, kept going and ran it in for a touchdown. And me and Chris, swear to God, have talked about that on this show. We were like, man, why don't quarterbacks do that? Like they would totally just fool the defense. So that was his big highlight and why he's being nominated, I feel like. But I'll say who I think is probably going to take it. I think it's going to be the Alabama quarterback. I think he'll probably end up winning it. Sounds like Chris agrees.
I don't want him to win it. I want the Michigan defensive guy to win it. I want to see defense take it.
I think that's how we all feel, but logically, I don't see that happening.
I don't know, man. He's the only one out of the four that if like in the NFL draft is projected a top 5 pick.
That's true too. That is very true. I think he's going to be up there. If he doesn't win, I would see him get number 2, but I think Bama's probably going to get it. That's why they lose the championship game.
I mean, I was going to say he showed up big against Georgia, so that helped his cause a lot. Like if they would have lost, then I think, maybe somebody else could have taken it. But and then Ohio State quarterback losing to Michigan didn't help him. So, it's more so coming down to Alabama or maybe the defensive player. Pitt, I think they're doing it just because, has a player from Pitt ever been nominated? They're just showing them a little bit of love being from that school. So, all right. So, unless there is any other major news in other sports that I am unaware of that someone wants to bring up, doesn't matter because baseball right now, it's the lockout, so not really much to talk about when it comes to that.
Hey, Pitt has one Heisman winner in the history of the Heisman Trophy. One, Tony Dorsett.
Wow.
That's how long ago.
Late 80s? Is that like late 80s, early 90s?
That was in the 70s, bro.
Oh my God.
That's a good one though. If you're gonna have a winner, that's a good one.
Yeah.
I just had to look it up because I was curious.
That's great.
They've had like 5 nominees, but they've only had one winner.
Well, let's go Pitt then, huh? Wonder what the odds are on that for the gambling guys.
Yeah, I was gonna say it's
probably bad.
I might throw like $5 down just to see what happens.
Pays out 500 to 1.
Right.
Oh gosh, yeah. All right. Well, anything else? Like I said, baseball kind of can't really talk much about that. NBA still kind of, not even mid-season with the amount of games that they have to play. So
the Suns still on their streak?
No, they lost. That's what I was going to actually bring up.
The Warriors beat them.
The Warriors beat them, but they went 18 straight, which is an incredible feat, especially in today's NBA world. I know the Golden State did it 4 or 5 years ago, best record ever. But with a team like the Suns, the reason why I find it more impressive winning 18 games in a row with a team like the Suns is they don't really have superstars. You have Chris Paul on your team, but what has Chris Paul ever done? Chris Paul's been to 1 finals appearance in his entire career, and he's played with some very big heavy hitters throughout his career. But going, when the Suns are with like Golden State or the Lakers doing it, that's expected. It's expected for them to do that. But teams like the Suns, Booker's playing great, and I think that's
Ayton is amazing.
He's young. You get that dude, you get him some more talent. They got a very young squad. And I think that's going to be the game changer. That's why I think they lost to the Suns, as Booker wasn't playing that game. He was injured. And they didn't lose by a lot, but they lost by enough that when you're missing somebody like that caliber who can put shots up anywhere on the court, He can drive. He can handle. I think he's one of the best guards in the NBA. He just doesn't get the credit he deserves.
For the team he plays for.
Exactly. He's like Trae Young. I mean, Trae Young, Ice Trae is a phenomenal guard, but he plays for Atlanta. So you're not going to give these people credit because of the teams they play for. But Booker's one of those guys. He's like Chris Paul. Before Chris Paul went to the Suns weren't even, favored to make the finals. They were I think a plus like 1,900 to make the finals. Chris Paul gets traded, they go to a plus 700 to make the finals. But that's with people like, Devin Booker, he's like that. You put him on any team, you got a playoff team. Just plain and simple. That he's got the skills to take you there. But I think that's kind of the upsetting factor is Golden State kind of seems to be back to where they were, but I think a lot of them got them figured out because Steph is Steph. I think he's very overrated, and I will probably catch a lot of flack for that on your show and from other sports guys in general. I think that he is a very overrated talent. I think he's incredible. Don't get me wrong. The dude is a phenomenal shot. He's got handles. I just think that he's very overrated, and the only reason why he gets the hype he's got is because of what he was able to do so quick and early. Dude's shattering 3-point records, but that to me doesn't really mean much. So.
Problem is with Steph is you live and die by the three.
Yes.
Like he has games where he's like 6 for 30 from 3-point. And it's like, those are the games that they lose.
Yes.
Because he's just putting up shots and he's missing.
And then he's like 30 for 6 on the other game.
Yeah. Like he's just insane. But no, I agree with like, if you put Booker on a team, they're a playoff team. But yeah, what has Chris Paul done? I actually saw a funny meme today. It was a picture of LeBron James, and it said, a 38-year-old man is in his 17th season. Unlimited minutes, huh?
Dude, it must be unlimited nights and weekends.
Yeah. Oh, God, we're all that old.
Unfortunately, I had to explain to my 8-year-old that I'm older than Google the other day.
I'm older than the internet, man.
Yeah. Yeah.
But no, it was like a picture of LeBron James, and it said this 38-year-old is in his 17th season, or 36-year-old is in his 17th season, and he's led his team to 18 straight wins. He's been in the finals. He's an amazing player, amazing teammate. And that person is Chris Paul. This is just a random picture of LeBron James. It's awesome.
I agree. And LeBron gets a lot of flack for what he does off the court and his antics, but for what he does on the court, he's an incredible player. Same with Chris Paul. These dudes are old. When you look at their age, they're still young, but to be playing a professional sport for as long as they have and to still be out there running and being starters on these teams is just incredible. But I might even some days take Chris Paul over LeBron James just because
he's a better leader.
Agreed. The other one, I know we talked, this was about a month ago, but did you guys watch that Miami Denver Nugget game when all the Jokic brothers showed up to Miami? So we had that whole beef with the Marcus Morris, whatever Morris brother it was. They ended up playing each other again in Miami. And Jokic, his brothers showed up to that game and were courtside right behind the Nuggets bench. It was pretty crazy to watch, and they were chirping all game long. It was pretty hilarious to see that happen. But so,
of course, let's just try to add more fuel to the fire.
It sometimes gets you fired up. You might play a little bit. I don't know.
The Nuggets still suck this year.
They're hurt. They're hurt, man. They are hurt. MPJ's out.
I can't say shit. My team lost by 73 fucking points. Okay.
Oh my God.
They lost the Memphis Grizzlies by 73.
Franchise record for most points scored in a game.
And the NBA record for biggest margin of win.
Yes.
Yeah, it's going to be a while before that gets broken again.
It's never going to happen.
You put Steph Curry and LeBron James and Chris Paul on the team, maybe.
I mean, I can go out there and probably guard a little bit better than what was probably being played in that game. I mean, all you have to do is put your hand up, sometimes they probably they didn't even care.
They had no offense. They had no defense. They were it looked like a peewee team was out on that court, man.
Just put all our subs in, go.
Let's be real. OKC is a peewee team right now.
Yes, they are. They're young, man. They're young. They're very, I think the average age is like 23 years old, 22 years old. So, but they'll be a force. It's just going to take a little bit to get there.
No, they won't. I'll still root for them, though.
That's how I am. I'm a Nuggets fan, so hopefully something happens here soon.
You gotta stick with it through and through. I mean, the Bulls are finally doing something this year, so something exciting for me to finally root for.
Lonzo Ball.
Yeah, I know. Who knew that he could be a decent player if he was, had the right teammates around him?
Well, when he stopped shooting like this, like, what the hell are you doing?
Well, if you have some teammates that are willing to coach you, I think LeBron, he even admitted that he didn't want young players on his team because he didn't want to take them under his wing. He was like, I didn't want to have to coach them. I wanted people that already knew what they were doing. So that wasn't going to work out.
That's what the mentality with LeBron that irritates me. It was like Peyton Manning and the Colts when he was there before they drafted Andrew Luck, before they sucked for luck. Manning said the same thing. I don't want a young quarterback behind me. I don't want somebody who could potentially take my spot. Same thing with Brett Favre. Brett Favre didn't want anybody behind him, but then you got like Tom Brady who goes, I don't care who's behind me. I might need you to come and play. We need to win. And you got Jimmy G who comes in and plays lights out when Brady's hurt. Jacoby Brissett plays lights out when he was hurt. And now they're decent quarterbacks. But it's a horrible mentality to have as a leader of a team. I don't want these young guys. That's what you need, man. Your whole team's in the 30s, bro. Like, you can't play 60 minutes a game. Right? You're gonna get beat.
Yeah, that's true. So, moving on to the NFL and talking about that, we'll get into our top 5, bottom 5, which would be pretty interesting this week, especially just a quick mention of a game because it still baffles my mind. The Patriots and the Bills game, where Bill Belichick was like, you know what? We're going to run the ball this game.
56 times.
We're
56.
really good at running. So Mac Jones, even though you've been playing good and you've been managing, we're just going to have you only throw 3 passes. 3 total passes were thrown by Mac Jones.
12 yards?
Huh?
For 12 yards?
Yeah, I think it was like 19 yards, something like that.
Yeah. That's an incredible game with the win factor. Because I was watching it and I couldn't believe it. From the first kickoff, I looked at my wife and I told her, I said, I've watched a lot of football. I don't remember the last time somebody kicked a ball into the stands. And she was like, well, and I rewound it to show her. And she's like, I've never seen that in my life. I said, I've only seen one other person do it. He was a quarterback for the Raiders. Jamarcus Russell is the only person I think who could do what the kicker just did. It was incredible. But as a Buffalo Bill team, knowing that they're going to run the ball, how do you not stop that?
How do you not stack the box?
Like
why?
And Josh Allen had a decent day throwing the ball. He had over 100 yards. He was like 12 of 15. He had a good day. But as the defensively, you need to talk to your DC. That would have been the first thing after that game. Why weren't you telling our guys to adjust? And even as the head coach, who's McDermott's their head coach or something? Why weren't you just take control of your team and stack that box? You've seen what they were doing the whole game. Their game plan didn't change. We're going to run the ball every time. How do you not stop that? Force them to pass in 35-mile-an-hour winds. Make them try to throw the ball. It was mind-blowing. It was the greatest game I think I've ever watched in my life, just for that reason. 56 times of running the ball is incredible. It's an incredible feat.
Yeah, the first thing I thought of after watching that game was the same thing. I was talking to one of my friends at work, and I said, "How as a coach do you not say, I wonder what they're going to do next? I wonder if they're going to run the ball again. Even like defensively as a player, like you don't always have to listen to the plays that the coach tells you. Like at some point, don't you have some common sense and say, okay, they're gonna run the ball again. I'm not listening to what the coach says. Like I'm gonna go straight in and try to stop the run. Like I don't know how someone doesn't step up and speak up and be like, hey, they're gonna run the ball again. Hey, it's probably another run play.
So really funny. Media after that game, they asked Micah Hyde and Jordan Poyer, the two safeties for the Bills, why weren't you guys a bigger factor in the defense? Micah Hyde just looked at him and goes, how many times did they throw the ball? Well, 3. What position do I play? He's like, safety. Okay, who am I supposed to guard? The receivers? If he's not throwing the ball, how am I going to be part of the game plan? Like I could drop up, but I still have to keep those receivers honest.
0 blitz every time.
Yeah, exactly. Just all out blitz every time. But with that, Patriots extend their win streak. I think they're either at 7 or 8 now. I think
7 games.
7. Is it 7?
Yeah. So
with that, we'll start with our bottom 5 as we always do. We always start with the worst of the worst. So let's start off with Chris, since Larry's not used to having to do a bottom 5. We'll give him some time to kind of think about it and let Chris start off with his bottom 5.
All right. Number 1, absolute worst team in the NFL. Even though they won, still the Detroit Lions. They got their first win on a 2-second pass. Like Jared Goff actually didn't golf it up.
He didn't golf it up.
Kind of crazy. And like, do we put the Vikings in the bottom 5 because the Lions beat them?
Like a number 4, probably.
They beat the Packers one week, and then the next week they lose to the Lions.
Yeah.
How does that work?
How? Yeah. Number 2, I'm going to put Jacksonville. Number 3, Houston. Number 4, the Jets. And number 5, I was thinking about putting Seattle, but I have to put the Vikings in there. So number 5 is the Vikings, just because you let the Lions beat you.
All right, Larry. Let's get your 5 worst teams in the NFL right now, with number 5 being the very worst.
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Detroit Lions. You know what? I'm actually gonna go on a different limb here. I'm gonna say the number 1 worst team is the Minnesota Vikings. Mainly because of how do you do that? You go from playing phenomenal football to, and they were bound to get a win sooner or later. Like it was almost inevitable. Like how often do you see a team go 0-17? I guess this year.
16-1.
Twice.
Yeah,
Gone twice. The Browns and the Lions.
But how often does that happen though?
Twice, ever.
Yeah, so exactly my point. So you just, the Vikings are the worst. They're the worst team to beat because you allowed that to happen. I'd go. I'm gonna probably say the Texans. They're gonna be my number 4. Detroit would be my 3. Jacksonville would be 2, and I'd go with the Giants over the Jets.
Oh, all right. Interestingly enough, while you guys were looking at that, I was looking at the standings, and which I don't know how the Lions don't have this next to their name, but as of right now on ESPN, the Houston Texans have an E next to their name, which means they are officially eliminated from the playoffs.
Because the Lions still have a 1 in 8 million chance of making the playoffs. A lot of shit has to happen. Like a lot has to happen.
But yet the Texans are out.
But they can still make the playoffs.
So the division they're in, I guess that's what that would make sense.
Yeah.
But
a lot has to happen.
Which is funny because they have them over the Jaguars, but the Jaguars have not been officially eliminated, which I don't know. That whole thing looks funny that they are the only team that has an E by their name right now. We still got like 6 games left. Texans, sorry. Texans fans, all hope is lost. You have the E. So number 5, I'm gonna put the Detroit Lions. Number 4, I'm gonna put the Texans solely because they have the E. So if the Lions get another win, I mean the Texans can be the worst team then. I mean, at least the Lions have a chance.
Yeah.
The Lions can still make the playoffs. How scary is that?
They have a chance.
They win the Super Bowl.
There you go, win the Super Bowl, getting as a wild card. And then number 3, I am going to put the Jaguars. Number 4, I'm going to put the Jets, and then number 5. Oh man,
Gotta put the Vikings in there, man.
yeah, might as well, right? I was gonna do that or the Bears because the Bears are just looking god awful as well. But
Bears.
the Bears. All right.
They're just terrible.
Terrible. Now we get to do top 5, the top 5 best teams in the NFL. And I'll start off, and Larry, you can't put your team in there. You have to be unbiased. You got to take the team hat off, and you got to put the sports podcaster hat on. So
My team is definitely not top 5.
So yeah, number 5, I think I had them in there last week, and I'm gonna keep them there, is the Chiefs. I think they are like they still didn't blow the team out of the water, which I think was the Broncos. They didn't blow them out of the water. It wasn't like, I mean, Mahomes had 1 rushing touchdown, but 0 throwing touchdowns. Like
22-9.
yeah, it wasn't a crazy game. Like everyone thought it potentially could be, or just like the Chiefs of old that would just blow everyone out. But defensively, they're still getting that momentum, which is scary. If a team has momentum, you need to watch out. And that's why my number 4 team is the Patriots, because that's all they are, is momentum right now. Belichick's being considered for coach of the year, Mac Jones is doing what is needed. He doesn't have to play like Patrick Mahomes in that system. They run the ball and play good defense, and Mac Jones does what's needed. He doesn't turn the ball over. So you can't ask for any more than that. Number 3, I'd probably have to put the Bucks, because they're still doing their thing. I mean, they haven't really played against anybody. I mean, when they have, they've usually lost, or they'll lose weird games to the Washington football team. Like, whoever thought in a million years that would happen? So they're kind of just going, which is what got them to the Super Bowl. So they're just using the same formula that worked last year. And then number 2, I would have to say, is the Green Bay Packers. For obvious reasons, they're doing great on defense, and Aaron Rodgers is probably going to win MVP again. I would not be surprised if he, didn't win it back to back. And then number 1, solely based on record alone, because they have the best record in the NFL right now, the Arizona Cardinals. As much as it pains me to say as a Rams fan, especially since we're playing them this weekend, but they're looking great on all phases, and they were doing it without Hopkins and without Murray, and now they have them back. So
they played worse.
Huh?
They played worse this week with them.
Yeah.
Murray had like 130 passing yards. That was it.
Yep.
Yeah, and
Hopkins had 3 catches for 30 yards and a touchdown.
Yeah. So, I mean, we'll see. Like I said, the Rams game will be interesting because we got stomped by them the first time. But now it's kind of different from when you play the team the first time. You can kind of game plan a little bit better. So we'll see. So yeah, Cardinals are my number 1 right now. Let's go with Larry.
So I mean, Cardinals are number 1 team. I mean, when they like Chris said, yes, they didn't play as good as they could have, but that's what makes them dangerous. Is you have 130 yards passing, and you have the number one receiver in the league who puts up 30 yards and you still manage to win the game.
Correction, Cooper Kupp is the number one receiver in the league right now. Sorry.
Okay, so Devontae Adams as the number one receiver. If we're going by yards, agreed. Got Kupp on my fantasy team. I love it. It's awesome. The big factor for the Cardinals is James Conner. I mean, James Conner has he's got 9 straight games with a touchdown. So that Cardinals are easily my number one. My number 2 team, I'm actually going to go with the Patriots just because of the momentum that they have. 7 straight games, started 2-5, and they haven't lost, and they're either blowing you out or they're running it down your throat, playing 80s 90s style football, just smashing it down there and winning. 3, I'd probably go with the Packers. It's Aaron Rodgers. Their defense is finally clicking. Their offense is looking scary as always. I mean, it's Rodgers. It doesn't seem to matter who he's throwing it to. They're winning. I probably put the Bucks at 4, even though, like you said, they did lose to Washington. That Taylor Heineke is no joke over there. I mean, he gave them a run for their money. His first start in a playoff game last year against the Bucks, and the Bucks barely squeaked by that. But my 5 team, and I'm with you as Payne. I might have a heart attack, but it is the Chiefs. And you just can't ever count them out. I mean, yeah, they beat Denver. Anybody who expected Denver to win that game was on drugs. I expected, as a fan of the team, I expected a closer game because of how they seem to win the games that they shouldn't win. But it's Patrick Mahomes, it's Andy Reid, it's Tyreek Hill, it's Travis Kelce. You have a phenomenal offense, and their defense has been subpar the whole year until this win streak. These last 5 games, their defense is playing like the Kansas City of old. I mean, they've come together. They're playing great ball. Look out for Kansas City in the playoffs and the rest of the year. I think that's going to be the big thing. Was their defense keeps playing like that, Kansas City goes all the way.
Yeah. That one hurts my heart too. AFC West.
Hardest division of football.
I don't know, man. AFC West and NFC West are the toughest teams, but it's funny. There's only one team in both of those divisions that has a losing record right now. Only one. And that's the shitty ass Seahawks. We can all agree to hate them because they were in the AFC West for a long time.
Yes.
Somehow they beat the 49ers. Exploded them out.
Right?
But all right, top 5, Chris.
Top 5. Number 5, Kansas City Chiefs. Yeah, no, their defense has been garbage all year until they met the Raiders. And then all of a sudden their defense just clicked. It's like, why did it have to be against my team, you assholes? It was BS.
Good timing.
But yeah, no, terrible timing. Pissed me off. But no, the Chiefs they're a tough team. They really are. I will say one thing for Denver. They did show how to shut down Travis Kelce. They shut down Travis Kelce. He had 1 reception, 1 for 4 yards. I was nervous because playing fantasy this week, all I had left was a quarterback, and he had Travis Kelce. I had Josh Allen. He had Travis Kelce. And I was like, shit, Travis Kelce's going to go off against the Broncos. He's going to 140 yards and 2 touchdowns. This dude's going to pass me. Nope. Travis Kelce, 1 reception for 4 yards. And I ended up winning without my quarterback even playing. So that made me happy. But yeah, gotta put them in there. Number 4, I would put Tampa. They're a threat to win every year that they have Tom Brady. Peyton Manning, when he went to the Broncos, his first year he was solid. His second year, he couldn't throw the ball to save his life. He was throwing ducks. Every ball that came out of his hand was weak. He didn't have the power behind it anymore. Tom Brady's 44 years old and still throws a freaking 40-mile-an-hour ball. That is insane. He's still got it. And I'm trying to figure out how the hell he's 44 and still doing it. Dude, I'm 39. I'm almost 40, and I can't throw a ball without every joint hurting. Everything hurts. I'm like, this is stupid. Fuck Tom Brady.
It's his wife, dude.
It's got to be.
He's not the breadwinner of the family. And Giselle's like, listen, Tom, if you want to sleep in the bed tonight, Keep it up.
Get me another ring.
Yeah.
But no, number 3, I'm gonna have to put the Patriots just because of what they're doing. Like they're doing everything they need to win. Like you need Mac Jones to throw the ball 30 times, he's gonna throw the ball 30 times. You need him to throw 3 times, he's gonna throw 3 times, and they're still gonna win. Like they're doing everything they need to win. And I honestly did not expect them to even step into being a division leader this year. I was like, oh, Mac Jones was he was the 4th quarterback taken off of the board. I don't see them actually doing anything. They've proven me wrong. I hate to see the Patriots winning again without Tom Brady, but like that's what they're doing. And they're going into a bye week this week. Like they have nothing to worry about. Number 2, I'm putting the Packers. That I had them number 1 until they lost to Minnesota. Like that kind of put a sour taste in my mouth. Because whenever has Aaron, like you guys are talking about the Packers defense, when has Aaron Rodgers ever thrown 4 touchdown passes, thrown for 400 yards and not won?
Yep.
The defense let him down in that game. Like Kirk Cousins is a shit quarterback. Like they shouldn't have won that game.
You never know which Kirk Cousins you're getting.
Right? It's the same as Derek Carr. You never know what Derek Carr you're getting.
Yes.
Is he going to fumble 3 times and throw 3 interceptions, or is he going to go ball out for 400 yards? Like bullshit. But number 1, Arizona Cardinals. They're just winning. Like they can't be stopped, no matter who's winning.
Sorry, go ahead.
Well, I was going to tell you, it looks like that we like lost you on Anchor. So I sent you the link again in the group chat if you want to click on it. I'm pretty sure you're not in there with us.
Oh,
No, I don't see Larry.
So if you click on it, you should be able to rejoin again. I sent like a new link in there.
What's happening here?
What's going on?
It's broken. We lost Larry.
Let me join it.
No. All right. Well, I'm gonna end this one and then start another one then, so we can get them in for our picks of the week, so we can wrap things up. So let me end that real quick, and then I'll start a new one here. Invite friends. All right, and then I'm gonna copy the link and put it back in that group chat again, real quick.
Can you hear me on this though?
Yeah.
Can we just talk about how Colt McCoy is still in the league and winning games?
Right? Right? How? Like
I don't know why it's not letting me get join in here.
so sometimes you have to go up to the purple screen and just spin. You have to back out and go back into it.
That's what I did. I'm not sure what's happening.
Oh, got me and Chris again.
Anchor can be finicky sometimes.
Well, it depends too on like a connection. There we go.
All right.
All right. So unfortunately for our regular listening listeners, the ones who don't go to YouTube, they might have missed a good amount of what you were saying. So I apologize for whoever missed out on that for however long. But now
he was just mocking me for being a Raiders fan.
Yeah. Now we're getting into our picks of the week. NFL
Picks of the week.
Picks of the week. All right.
Yay!
Huzzah! All right. So even after having a very good week for both of us, we finally got back getting more right than wrong after the last couple weeks have been freaking nuts with the way that some crazy no-name teams have been beating a team that they shouldn't even be in contention with. So we did better, but unfortunately with doing better, you were still only 2 ahead of me. So
Still 2. That's all. It takes 1. It takes 1. That's it.
So, at least it's not pulling away. There's still hope. I have hope, just like the Lions still have hope that they're going to, make the playoffs. So there's still hope for me.
So we'll go into the first game, which is the two teams that have given the Lions hope. The Thursday night game.
Oh God, you're right. The
It's the teams that gave the Lions hope.
6-5-1 Steelers and the 5-7 Vikings. So I get to start with this one. Again,
so before we go too far, Larry, we do have an upset and we have a lock. So the upset pick, it has to be a lower record, and you can't pick the same one as either of us.
Okay.
All right. And we'll do I'll make a side note pick for Larry, and we'll see how he did compared to us just for 1 week, not overall. So but man, this one's rough because, like, again, kind of like Larry said, what Kirk Cousins are you gonna get? On the Steelers side, what are you gonna get? They barely won because the Ravens went for a freaking 2-point conversion to win the game. And
before you go too far, Juju Smith-Schuster is out for the season.
Oh gosh, he hasn't done much in a while. Ever since Antonio left, he kind of hasn't really done that much. So
TikTok dancing.
Yeah.
Games.
Yeah, he's not a true number one. He's proven that.
Yeah. I'll go with the Vikings. I just think their offense should, prevail over the Steelers. So we'll see.
Larry?
Oh, yeah, I'm going with the Vikings.
I'm actually going to go against both of you because a little insider that I didn't kind of announce, Dalvin Cook and Adam Thielen are both out.
Yes.
So I'm going with the Steelers on this one.
You still have Justin Jefferson and Madison, though. And
It doesn't matter.
He is proved that he can
good.
Running back one. And Justin Jefferson,
Justin Jefferson's a beast.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I still think the Steelers get them.
All right, next matchup.
We've got the shitty Jets and the mediocre Saints.
Oh.
So
there's great games this week, by the way, guys. Great games. So we'll let Larry pick first this time.
Alvin Kamara is supposed to be back. And with him and Mark Ingram in the backfield with Taysom Hill, the Saints got it.
Yeah, I'm actually going to put this as my lock that the Saints win.
Oh.
Ching!
Because the Jets suck.
Locking it in. Yeah, the Jets are, I always like to go over the record. So the Jets are 3-9. The Saints are 5-7. As badly as Taysom Hill played in his start, I'm still going to take the Saints just because the Jets are just that awful.
The Jets.
The Jets don't have the defense to stop.
Don't have the offense.
Kamara. They don't have the defense to stop Alvin Kamara.
No.
Not many people do. All right. Next up, we got the Panthers and the Falcons.
Let's see.
Like I said, there's some terrible games this week. So I'm just picking on this one.
They're both 5-7.
Yeah. But the Falcons started 0-3 and the Panthers started 3-0. So they're both 5-7. What does that say?
What have you done for me lately?
Exactly. I'm honestly gonna take the Falcons on this game.
Dirty Birds. Are they playing in Atlanta?
It doesn't matter.
No,
it
they're
does a
playing
little
in Carolina.
Yeah, the Dirty Birds.
Matt?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Falcons as well.
Fair enough. All right, up next, we've got I believe they're 4-6 or 4-7? 4-7 Seahawks. Or are they 4-8?
Seahawks are 4-8.
And then the 2 and whatever Texans. Yeah, shitty. Matt's pick.
Seahawks.
Yeah, I'm gonna go with the Seahawks.
Larry's going Seahawks. I'm going Seahawks.
Is there a tie button? Like, is there a button I can have on my keyboard that equals tie? It's gonna be
No, if we tie, it's a half a point.
Oh, okay. No team's gonna win.
All right. This is the game that's going to determine our friendships here. So we got the Kansas City Chiefs and the Raiders in Kansas City.
Oh my God.
Larry.
So the 6-6 Raiders and the 8-4 Chiefs.
So just because do we go through all the games this weekend for locks, or just the select few games?
No,
You get one lock, one upset.
But do we go through every game of the week?
Yeah.
Yeah, all the games for the
Okay.
weekend.
So
So you get one lock, one upset for the week.
I might have to hold on to this then for that. I think the Raiders are going to pull off the upset, though. I think
Are you doing this as your upset pick?
no, I just think they're going to win. I just think they're going to win.
All right.
That's a horrible pick, but I'm going to the Chiefs. I'm going to the Chiefs.
Oh, he changed
the
his
Chiefs?
mind. He flipped it. Oh,
Well, if the Raiders lose and Denver beats Detroit, Denver's not last in the division. So neither team.
I'm going to take the Raiders.
Yeah, I'm going with the Chiefs. They got the momentum right now.
I'm going to laugh in both your faces when they win.
Okay, I'll accept that.
All right. Up next, we've got Baltimore Ravens at 8-4. And the 5-7 Browns, or are they 6-6?
Trying to find it here. 8-4 Ravens, 6-6 Browns.
There we go. And Larry picks first, I think, right? Or no, he picked the Chiefs game. So it's my pick.
Yeah.
I'm going to take the Ravens on this one.
Yeah, the Ravens. They just play?
Huh?
Didn't they? Ravens and Baltimore just play? Lamar had like 4 picks that game. Browns and Ravens.
Yeah, it was, I think. Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
And they still won.
Or it was only like 10-16 or something like that. It was
Yeah.
a low scoring game, or 10-13.
Going Ravens.
Somehow the Ravens still win, even though he threw 4 picks. But yeah, I'm gonna go with the Ravens.
So we all went with the Ravens, huh? All right. Up next, we got the division leading Cowgirls against the Washington football team, who've beat some teams they should have never beat.
8-4 Cowboys, 6-6 Washington football team.
Isn't Washington sitting in second place right now for their division?
Should be. It might be tied with the Eagles. Because let me see what the Eagles are at. Because I think the Eagles are 6-6 as well. They have a bye, so I have to look at the actual standings. Yeah, well, the Eagles are 6-7. So I mean,
Yeah.
They're tied.
they're tied.
After this game, they will be. Matt, you're first.
Yeah, but the Cowboys been losing some teams that they shouldn't have been losing to, and the Washington football team has all kinds of momentum right now.
No,
Like
they
Larry,
had the ref momentum against the Raiders. That's what they had. Dude, everybody can, like, Carr came out and threw that last pass with 30 seconds out to Zay Jones. That was pass interference, 100%. He was draped over him, over Zay Jones, pulling on his jersey, and then hit him in the head. Like, had his hand on his face. Like, that was 100% pass interference. Now, the Raiders played a shit game. I'll own up to that. They played a shit game. They should have blown out the Washington football team. But that last play of the game where they were going down to finish the game, they got screwed by the refs. Because, like, everybody saw that.
Pound key ref gate. Is that what we're going with?
Sure. But, I mean, when it comes down to one play in the game and it changes the whole aspect of the game, it's bullshit. It should never come down like that to the ref.
I might be wrong on this, but I don't really see any other game where I can do this. So I'm gonna go with the upset and take the Washington football team. Upset alert! So angry. So all the other games don't seem like the team with the worst record will win. So I gotta go with it here.
Wait, did I not take my upset already?
Not you usually take
Took
it
my
early.
lock. Fuck.
Yeah, I haven't taken my upset either.
Mistake.
Yeah, we're gonna go with the Cowboys are gonna win this game.
Yeah, I'm going with the Cowboys too. So you got a chance there to make up a couple points, bud.
Yeah, it's
Right.
my best shot. Some of these other games is just like, woof. No, I don't think so.
Up next, we've got Jacksonville and Tennessee. Larry, you're first.
You know, Tennessee has not been playing well since Derrick Henry got hurt. And as much as how many more games do I got left to pull up upsets?
Like 5, maybe 5 or 6.
Yeah, I'm gonna lock this in. Tennessee's gonna win it.
He took my lock. Cha-cha-cha-cha-ching. He stole it from me.
It's either this or the Broncos game, but who knows?
All right. Your go, Chris.
Upset.
You're taking the Jaguars?
I'm taking the Jaguars. I think they upset the Tennessee Titans. It's a division game. Division games are always tough. They are. It doesn't matter what the records are. They're always a tough game.
Horrible.
It is terrible, and I'm probably going to regret the shit out of it. So, because I know
it's not, but you're not wrong. But because if you look at Jacksonville, who knows what's going to happen? And Meyer might be hitting some clubs. Lawrence might be hitting some rays in California. I don't know. Tennessee is not the Tennessee that we have seen in recent memory. With Derrick Henry going hurt, Tannehill has shown that he can't throw 40 passes a game.
And AJ Brown is hurt too. So,
yeah, I don't hate your upset, but I think you're wrong.
I'm probably wrong, and
Yeah,
I'll eat it.
Going with the Titans as well. That was going to be my lock.
Sorry.
Up next, we got the Chargers, who are wishy-washy at best, against the Giants, who suck. And I pick first. Yay.
Yep, 7-5 Chargers, 4-8.
Let me clean the puke out of my mouth while I root for the Chargers on this.
The Chargers.
Well, this is just as good of a lock, I think, as the other one. So I'm going to lock in the Chargers after they decimated the Bengals, who I thought were up and coming.
Yeah, they showed that up. So
They lost.
It was a really close game until the fourth quarter. The final score made it seem like it was a blowout, but it was actually real close until the fourth quarter. That's when the turnovers happened.
Fourth quarter with like 8 minutes to go.
Yeah.
There was 21 points scored by the Chargers.
All right, up next, we've got the Donkeys and the shitty Lions. Who's going to take a shit on this game?
The 6-6 Broncos, 1-10-1 Lions.
They're on a tear. They're on a streak.
They're on a streak.
Technically, in the last 2 games, they haven't lost. So
Yeah.
I mean,
No, they won one. Or no, they tied and lost, then won.
oh, okay, is that what it was? All right.
Yeah.
And then they lost on their bye week. So, but who's in my pick?
Yep.
I'm gonna go with the Donkeys.
And we all know where you're going, Larry.
Oh yeah.
And I'm going to take the Broncos as well. Bleh, bleh. Oh.
I get that. Don't worry, dude.
Oh no, last year I had a thing. I never took the Broncos, and I swore I never would. And then this year, Matt kind of gave me an out. He was like, dude, they're actually okay this year. You can take them. I was like, okay.
They're decent. I wouldn't say they're okay. They're decent.
They have their ups and downs. They definitely do.
Yeah,
Like the Raiders have started. No,
on paper, Denver has the best receiving core in the NFL. On paper, hands down. If you look from Jerry Jeudy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick after last year, Noah Fant, on paper, that's the best receiving core there is. They don't have a quarterback that can use them. They have a more complete offensive core than that. I'll wait.
the Rams.
Yeah.
Cooper Kupp,
Cooper Kupp, OBJ, Robert Woods, Van
Hurt.
Jefferson.
Woods is hurt.
I know.
Before
Van Jefferson, you don't know what you're going to get out of Van. He had 8 targets last game for 4 catches. He had 4 drops, which I love Van. OBJ also has not been OBJ since he had Eli Manning throwing in the ball.
Now he's got old Matt Stafford doing it. So, and
Which
he's
is still struggling.
Well, that's not Matt Stafford though. If you're watching OBJ stopping on routes, it's like, what the hell are you doing?
That's
Run!
my point, though. So on paper, Denver would have the best receiving core. OBJ should be there, but Denver has a full healthy unit. They just don't get utilized. That's the whole reason why Denver's. Well, that's not the whole reason, but they don't have a quarterback. That's Denver's.
And then you got the Chiefs.
Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce.
Tyreek Hill, Travis Kelce, Mecole Hardman, Josh Gordon. Like
Josh Gordon doesn't even play for one.
When he does, he's definitely there.
He's on the roster. I agree with that. But Mecole Hardman,
he's wishy-washy for sure.
2 catches a game on average, 30 yards a game, if you're lucky.
But when he has his breakout games, he's fucking huge.
Well, yeah. Well, it's be said about the Raiders' offensive core, their wide receiver core as well.
No, our receiving core sucks. We have Hunter Renfro and Darren Waller.
And Deshaun Watson or Deshaun Jackson. One of the Deshaun's. You have a Deshaun on your team.
Yeah, that's been thrown to 5 times.
Yes. That's
It's
upsetting.
terrible.
He's on my bench in fantasy. I could really use that bump,
Yeah. Watch this week. He'll go off against the Chiefs.
I got
Because
one
they don't have anybody on defense that can keep up with him.
on a flex. Do I put in Van Jefferson or do I put in Deshaun Jackson? And I'm like, it's Van Jefferson. It's big man Van.
That works. All right, next game up. San Francisco and the Bengals.
The Bengals. Let's see. 6-6 49ers, 7-5 Bengals.
This would actually be a good upset pick. Because Larry, you go first.
Is it my? I'm gonna use it. I'm gonna take the Niners.
Upset alert!
I love these. It's so great.
So the 49ers, their defense is finally showing up. Finally. Took them long enough. Their offense still sucks. But, I mean, their backup running back, Elijah, whatever the hell his name is.
Mitchell.
Yeah, Elijah Mitchell. He's a beast. Like, that dude just runs through everybody. He reminds me of, like, a mix between Adrian Peterson and Derrick Henry.
I like that. Yeah.
Good mix. Like, he can run outside and he can just run through people.
With a little bit of like a Christian McCaffrey agility.
Yeah. So on this, I'm actually going to take the Niners as well. The Bengals didn't show me anything against the Chargers.
I'm going with the Bengals on this one.
Because you can't go for the Niners.
Nah, it's just I feel like the Bengals are going to have a better offensive showing this time. And like I said before, people think that the Chargers game was a blowout when it wasn't. It came down to the fourth quarter and then just making some turnovers. So I think they'll fix it.
Agreed.
Still technically a blowout. If you blow somebody out in the first quarter or the fourth quarter, it's still a blowout.
I mean, blowout usually is like from the beginning all the way through. Because I mean,
because most teams get to that point that they coast. Like if they blow out in the first quarter, they're going to coast the rest of the way.
The Chargers just Burrow. It's not even, I should say, I'm not even going to say the Chargers played well at the end. Burrow just played like dog shit.
Yeah.
I don't know if he was hurt. I don't know if he got hit in the head too many times in that game or what, but he was making some passes that he normally does not make.
Oh, he broke his finger.
Oh, is that what it was?
Yeah. Did you guys see that? He had the same injury that Russell Wilson had.
Oh,
And Russell Wilson sat out for 4 weeks. Yeah, his pinky finger was like straight sideways, dude. Like it was gross.
Didn't Taysom Hill break his finger too? Had the same.
Yeah. You know what Joe Burrow did? Taped his shit up, went back out there and played. Russell Wilson sat out for 4 weeks.
When you're 22 years old, you can.
That's true.
But you could tell, like, after that injury, it was bugging him.
Yeah.
Like, you could tell. All right. So next game up, we've got the Buffalo Bills coming off that embarrassing 56-run loss against the Tampa Bay Bucks, coming off a bye week. I think they came off a bye week, right? I could be wrong.
I think so, yeah. So 7-5 Bills, 9-3 Bucks.
My pick first.
Sure.
All right, Bucks. That's no. At the beginning of the year, I would have picked the Bills, but the way the Bills have been playing, they can't stop the Bucks. They don't have the defense to stop them now.
Yeah, that's the Bucks. And Micah Hyde though, and Poyer might be able to play this game, so we'll see how things turn out.
Right? They might actually be a factor.
I'm gonna go with the Bucks. They're playing in Tampa as well, which I think will help.
Cool.
Bucks need to start winning. This is
All
when
right.
Brady gets hot.
Then we got the Sunday night game, which is your Los Angeles Rams.
Sunday night game, my man, is the 4-8 Bears and the 9-3 Packers.
Did I have those backwards? Shit.
Yeah.
So the Monday night game is the Rams. Okay.
Yeah.
So yeah, the Bears and the Packers Sunday night. I had them backwards. Sorry.
It's all good.
Sorry to all our listeners. I suck. And Matt,
Words, not ours.
Huh?
you're first.
His
Matt.
words, not ours.
Yeah. True. I'm gonna go with the Packers. They're the second best team in the NFL. So
Packers.
Yep, Packers. Unanimous decision there.
unanimous.
You know, I almost took this game as my upset. I was thinking about it. So we got the Cardinals and the Rams.
So Rams at 8-4, Cardinals at 10-2.
Both gonna be a lock for the playoffs for sure.
We'll see with the Rams. I'm still hoping.
Right now they're what, locked up number 5 seed, aren't they? They're sitting number 5 seed right
I
now.
think so. Yeah.
Because there's nobody else even close to them.
This is a tough game to pick. I mean, when you really, if Kyler Murray plays like he did last week, Cardinals are going to lose. You're not going to slow down. You have to put up points against the Rams. And I know the Rams have had a couple games where they haven't been able to score points, but last week they finally seemed like they were clicking. They were moving the ball. Cooper Kupp, you can't count him out what he can do. Like you're saying, Van Jefferson, even OBJ, you can't count these guys out. Their run game's doing great. Darrell Henderson. I'm going to take the Rams. I think the Rams are going to play very well.
Yeah. I mean, if I'm picking next, I mean, everyone knows I never pick against the Rams, even when I think they're going to lose. I can't do it. It's I'm always going to pick them. So
You're picking the Cardinals?
Huh?
Is this where you're switching things up, go with the Cardinals this week?
Nah, definitely sticking with my Rams, especially with it being a division matchup. So, and those are always the toughest. I mean, like Chris was saying before, I think teams play a little bit harder and a little bit better. So
I'm going to call this. Aaron Donald's getting 3 sacks on Kyler Murray this week. He's going to level him. He's pissed off about the last game that they played where they double teamed him every damn play.
Now you got Von Miller on that squad. Who do you double team?
Yep, exactly. Like they're not going to be able to double team him every damn play. This time he's going to get 3 sacks on Kyler Murray and the Rams take it. It's going to be a close game, like a 27-24 game, but the Rams are going to take that game.
I agree.
well, I am hopeful, and because the Jags game definitely gave us some little bit of confidence that we needed after having that losing skid of 3 games. So
Winless in November.
yeah, exactly. And I felt like we played pretty decent against the Packers, to be honest. It's just, the defense wasn't able to step up as well. Like you said, Aaron Donald did absolutely nothing. in that game. So they didn't even say his name. So it's one of those things where the defense needs to get back to the way it was last year and start getting some turnovers. Like the Jags game, Aaron Donald caused a forced fumble and then Jalen Ramsey picked it up. Like that's what we need. Like that's what's going to help give the offense good field position and get the momentum early. Because if we start off slow for some reason, the game is like over. Like we always need to start quick and we need to score quickly, and we always do better. Like if we start slow, then it's just hard to get the momentum after that. So
I just need the Rams defense to like completely dominate that game, because this is the week that we go into playoffs, right? After this week is playoffs for fantasy.
yeah.
Yeah. So I have the Rams defense. I need them to dominate and get me like 20 fucking points, dude. Like couple interceptions off Kyler Murray, like 3 or 4 sacks, maybe a
I'll give
safety.
you the sacks. That's you're asking for a lot for the Rams defense, and then it's not that I don't think they're capable of doing that, but I don't know if you could say the F word on your show, but it's Kyler Murray.
Dude, that bleeped you like perfectly.
Yeah,
Holy
it did.
crap.
Yeah, it kind of did. That was weird.
The kid is incredible. He's like a Drew Brees essence, right? Or Steve Smith. Steve Smith, I think, is a better example. Steve Smith was told he was too small to play in the league. He couldn't play receiver. Arguably one of the greatest receivers to ever play the game. Kyler Murray's the same way. The dude on a Hail Mary pass had to turn around and watch on the Jumbotron to see if he got it or not. But he's incredible. He's elusive. And I think 3 sacks, I could see that, but they're gonna work for those sacks. Especially when you
Donald
off the edge. The one thing that did surprise me the most about the Rams was trading Kenny Young. Thank you, by the way. He's been awesome for our defense. But your linebacking core is, I think, going to make the difference in this game. Ramsey's going to shadow Hopkins all across the field, and that's going to be a great matchup. I mean, you've got arguably the 2 greatest players in the game right now on offense and on defense. I think that's going to be a matchup I think that's one of the matchups of the year, personally. But I think Hopkins might win that matchup. And I think for the Rams to win it, it's going to come down to your linebacking core. And I think you're going to be able to slow down Aaron Donald. You're going to be able to slow down Von Miller, but you can't slow them both down. And I think when you send that extra man on the blitz, I think that's going to be the game changer for the Rams.
Yeah, and like you said before, James Conner has been having a great season. He played great when he was with the Steelers. Trying to focus on slowing him down. It's like pick your poison, slow down James Conner, slow down Hopkins. Like Murray might run with the ball. Like you never know. So Kingsbury always does a good job, like McVay does, of keeping the defense guessing. You never know what they're going to do. I think that's why they play so good against each other as well, because they both kind of have the same mindset coaching wise. So
Kingsbury's coach of the year, in my opinion.
Yeah, he could definitely win it as well. Alrighty, well, since it is getting later, we'll wrap things up so that way Chris can get off to sleepy night. And as always, we appreciate the listens. We appreciate views on YouTube. If you look at our beautiful mugs on YouTube, I apologize. Then go listen.
We upped it today with adding Larry and his fabulous beard.
There you go. Yeah. You guys aren't ever going to get me to grow one. Like this is the best it's going to get. So soak it in.
Mine I have the black shirt, so it's hard to actually see how long it really is. So I'll pull my nipples out a little bit.
There you go. Just showing.
No,
I mean, the shit comes down to my
Dang.
Right there.
Yeah, I had to trim mine up a while, so mine's not very long anymore.
Well, as always, we appreciate everyone. Check us out on Anchor, Spotify, Apple Podcasts, YouTube. Anywhere that shows podcasts or does them, you can search us under Sports Harder Podcast. As always, we always end with our hashtag. So
Earl Thomas still not signed.
Hashtag Earl Thomas still not signed. So we're gonna get that trending eventually where I want a written letter from Earl Thomas saying stop it.
Right. Cease and desist,
cut it
man.
out.
Cease and
Yeah.
desist. I'm retiring. Shut the hell up.
Yeah. I decided
Retire
to retire
already,
because this
man.
podcast has my my name trending in hashtag Earl Thomas still not signed. So we're trying to make it happen, people. Come on, like, let's go.
I dig that. I like that a lot. Pound key Earl Thomas still not signed.
There you go. Exactly. So and then Larry, appreciate it. You're more than welcome to come any week that you want. We'll always have you here anytime that you want it. So the door is open.
Great.
Yeah.
Great guest, man. Great guest.
Thumbs way up. Way up.
I'll wait for the invite to come back on. Who knows?
Yeah, anytime you want, man. And
we always do it this late, unfortunately, but
yeah, we'll
I don't sleep, so I'm wait, dude.
I feel you on that. So we'll have Chris make sure that you get everything, and so we can tag you on Facebook and getting the YouTube video out and stuff, and you can post on your page, so that way maybe more people will be seeing it and interested. So awesome. Well, as always, we'll have another episode next week, and we will catch you guys on the flip side.
Later.
Peace.